What's up guys, it's David here at EGX2014 and I'm joined by Luke of State of Play, and we are here with Lumino City. First of all, Luke, can you tell us what you do in the game?
Personally? Well, you mean what the character does in the game?
What's your role in the development?
My role in the development, that's fine. I am the artist, I suppose, a creative director, if you can have a creative director of like 3 people. Yeah, the concept, I guess, has been worked on by me from the beginning. So yeah, I started State of Play about 6 years ago, and we've always done a combination of animation and video games, and we've concentrated on video games, and that's all fed into it. So we've always been very handmade, and you'll notice here that Lumino City is all handmade.
Yeah.
We actually made it's about 8-foot high city out of paper and card, and it's all full of like little miniature lights, motors, and they all come to life. So you can actually navigate this city that we filmed with a motion control arm. So you are actually like traversing that space, and you bring everything to life. There's all sorts of interesting contraptions.
So there's a question we're asking everybody. You've already described the game a little bit, but what we are asking everyone is, can you describe your game in 10 words or less?
Well, a puzzle adventure made from paper, card, and much love.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Spot on 10 as well. So, Lumino City is a sequel to Lume.
Yeah.
Was Lumino City always something that was intended to happen, or was it only after the success of Lume that you thought, how can we expand this universe?
Yeah, we actually had the idea for Lumino City before. It looked very different, but we did want to make an entire city. Originally it was all on a cliff face, it looked quite different. It was quite a linear journey, and but we realised even that, like, the scale that was at that time, which was about a quarter of what it is now, even that was too much to do back then. So what we did, we wanted to do like the first instalment basically. We thought if that goes well and people like it, we'll go and we'll be able to have the confidence and maybe some money to make the next one. And yeah, the first one was great. It got picked up by Steam, it got picked up by Apple, and yeah, it did really well. Like, just a lot was confidence as well for us. When you get love from people when they're playing it, you're like, that means a ton, and that hopefully means people are showing it to their friends, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, then we sat back and we were like, right, let's do the full thing, and it's expanded. I'm actually really pleased we didn't do the full thing first, because it's changed from that one sort of linear cliff to it's gone 3 dimensions. It's all like, the ambition that we put into it has like been multiplied 100-fold, and we're really pleased with the result now.
So you mentioned a few things about what changed from the original concept of Lumino City.
Yeah.
What has changed in the game between Lume and Lumino City? Maybe mechanics or art style or anything like that?
On just a purely visual level, like, the detail is about 10 times what the other one was, but that's carried through. That's in terms of the game's design. We put 10 times the amount of effort into each game now. We've got, like, the story is much deeper. There's all sorts of backstory that you can explore as well. What else? There's more characterization. There's basically everything that was in Lume. We felt like we've been able to do as it was meant to be.
Yeah. So, Lumino City and Lume, for that matter, they are beautiful games. That's another way to put it.
Thank you very much.
It's a very unique way of creating the game world with the paper models, like you said. How did this come about? How did you plan to do it? Was it always planned to be an actual model, or does it?
No, it wasn't an idea that just sort of pinged into our head. It's like a slow progression. I guess because of the background in animation and the fact that I've always done stuff by hand. Like, my first ever game was all rotoscopes, so hand drawn, and I've always seen it as the best way to get ideas straight out there. If you make stuff by hand, you're not putting too much technology in the way. And we made a web game, which was a pop-up book, but we found ourselves scanning in illustrations that I'd done, and I started to think, well, why not actually make this for real? Why are we pretending this is real? Let's actually make something out of paper. And I started making these little scenes, and then realised I could put the character in it, and then I thought, why am I just taking a photograph of the scene? I could video it, and then I realised I could motion capture that, and so it's like one progression, one after the other.
It's evolved
and it evolved into what it is, and it's nice. Like, it's great when you show it something like this. It looks fully formed and everything, and it looks like it's come out of nowhere. But for me, it's come out of a long time of idea generation, just practicing and honing what we do.
Yeah. So you said the detail has multiplied maybe 10 times in Lumino City.
Yeah.
How long does it take to create a scene from the start to the finish?
It's really hard because we haven't actually sort of monitored what hours we've spent on it. Part of the reason why is that it's been such fun to work on. But the way that the reason it looks like this is because we've kind of been like, let's enjoy the creative side of it, and so there's been a real mix of me doing some sketches, giving it to an architect to work on for a bit. She then sort of would take the sketch, build a 3D sketch so we could work out what camera angles to use, and so it's been a real mix of different processes. But I would estimate that it's about 3 weeks to a month per scene that you see here, but spread out. And so like we'd work on a bit for a while. Some scenes might have only taken a week, but there are some that are incredibly complicated. And of course, making the model is only the first part of it. Like once we filmed, we had to film this all in one day because we only had really the budget to hire this motion controller for one day. So we had to remember the script. It was like a multi-layered script that was not only long, but it was deep. We had to, things had several different versions of itself. And then we had all that footage, so making models was like, we thought most of the job done, and then, we'll just animate over the top, it'll be fine. And that has taken 2 years since we filmed to do all that.
Wow. It's a lot of hard work, and it shows as well in the game.
Thanks. That's the thing, like, once we had that vision, I think, of it in its entirety, like, and we filmed it all its entirety, there's no choice but to go through with it. And we weren't going to rush it out and say, we've only got a year to do it and make it half the game that it could be. When this comes out, it's going to be right.
So today you have a PC and you have a touchscreen device.
That's right.
The game's not currently out. What is your plans for the game in terms of platforms, when you're releasing, what's the primary release going to be, and maybe possibly a sequel?
Can't think about a sequel just yet, but the plans for this are we're going to launch in November. We're going to launch on Steam, so that will be Mac and PC and Linux as well. It's going to come out on mobile soon afterwards. As you say, we've got a touchscreen device working, and we've been developing with that in mind, so it'll be out on mobile sometime soon.
Awesome.
And sequel-wise, I'm going to have a sleep first and then consider what happens. But it's been a long project, this one.
Got to go bigger. Lume.
I don't know. Okay, copyright that right now. That's a great name. We'll sort it out. Funnily enough, the first idea for this was that we did have an idea for a puzzle adventure game that was set in space. We've got little concept designs with that character, space helmet on. So, you weren't miles away.
Just like Lumino City, it could have been something you had right at the start and then developed. But since we're at EGX, is there anything you've managed to play here? Have you been stuck in the booth?
I've been stuck at the booth for most of the time. I've managed to play Volume around there, which I really enjoyed. I've only just had a chance to go out and have a little mill around, but I've got to say, like, the Res area is still the best place to be.
Definitely.
And there's a game, there's a puzzle adventure game over there. Oh, maybe you can help me with the name. Why have I forgotten it? The puzzle adventure one. Bertram Fiddle. That's the one.
The Adventures.
The Adventures of Bertram Fiddle. I walked past that and the guys went, "You look like a kind of guy who appreciates puzzle adventure." I was like, "How do you know that?" And it just a complete coincidence. He was just going on my waistcoat, basically. He thought I just matched their game completely. He had no idea that I had a puzzle adventure here too. But that game's amazing.
Is there anything you are looking forward to playing before EGX wraps up?
Bertram Fiddle. I want to go and play Elite Dangerous. I want to go, like, the queues at the moment are insane. I was a massive fan of it, like on the BBC Micro, and I just
later on when people start
before they start putting it away in boxes, I'm going to sneak in there and play.
All right. Well, thank you for taking the time out to talk to us.
No problem.
Looks like a really lovely game, and I look forward to playing it. very much.
Thanks a lot. Oh, it's a pleasure.
It's awesome. But yeah, Lumino City will be out in November, and I recommend getting it because it looks awesome.